Hi Flosstube! This is my very first Flosstube. My name is Claire and I'm having a stitchy fit! Sorry. That is my Instagram name is stitchyfit36 and I decided to call myself the anxious stitcher because not only do I myself have anxiety, but I am anxious to stitch all the time. So that is why I decided to do that. So anyway, this is a channel about cross stitch and a little info about me. I am 39 years old. I have been married for 12 years to my husband, and we've been together for almost 20 years though. We have 2 daughters, a 4-year-old and a 10-year-old, and we live in Oregon in near Portland, about 20 minutes from Portland. Let's see what else. So stitching. I have been stitching since I was 18, really, so a long time. But I actually, the first time I stitched was I was a kid. I don't know if I was 8, 9, or 10, but I remember my mom gave me, it was a kit that had the printed cross stitch on it. It was, you know, it was the X's were printed in blue on the fabric. And I remember starting it, and then I put it away and I forgot about it, and there it stayed for years. And then when I was about 18, I was at a friend's house, and we were hanging out, and she had pulled out some cross stitch, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. That's kind of fun. So I think, you know, I must have talked to my parents about it. We went to Michael's, and this was back when, you know, about 2000, 1999, 2000. This was a time when I thought the only way you could cross stitch was by either, sorry, let me fix the camera here. By either purchasing a kit from the craft store or by purchasing like a book from the bookstore, like a cross stitch book. I wasn't aware of like LNS's, like needle workshops, and I just, we'll get into that later, but so I believe I purchased a kit. Okay, so I am new to using a camera and all the YouTube things, so so sorry, but anyway, I think I was talking about getting into cross stitch, and how I wasn't aware of how there's this whole world of cross stitch. I just thought it was, you know, you go to the store, buy a kit, and there you go. So, and I don't remember when I started, and I don't think I even have it anymore, but I know that I had tried some kits, and I remember picking something that was too hard for me, and I got really frustrated with it, and I never finished it, but eventually I did. You know, I got better, and I really got into it, and I finished all kinds of things since then, and then I have been stitching off and on since then. So fast forward to 2019, that's when I really got into cross stitch again. Like I said, I've been stitching on and off for years, and I've made several things, but 2019 was when I really just like, yep, I love this. I gotta do this. Start watching Flosstube, you know, groups on Facebook, and that is when I back when Stitch Mania was a big thing still, and so that was my first Stitch Mania was in 2019. So I thought that to get into my WIPs, that I would do a WIP parade. I'm not going to show all my WIPs today. What I thought I would do is start, do a WIP parade by year. So I have about 38, 39, maybe 40 WIPs. I'll have to look at my list again. But I thought I would just start with this video showing the ones from 2019. Well, first, I will show you a retired WIP. This is my oldest WIP. And this is from 2002, maybe. I remember this is my first year of college when I was living in a dorm, and I have this fabulous book of Teresa Wensler patterns. I didn't know at the time that this would be just such a gem, but this is some of the patterns in the book, but I started with this pattern here. It's Rapunzel, and this is her. And as you can see, I did not finish her. I got about halfway and I think I put her away, and I just haven't really picked her up since. And you can kind of see I had like done some gridding down at the bottom here. But this is so old. You can't tell really, but it's just, this fabric is kind of stained. It kind of has a musty smell. I think I need to clean it. And I don't think I even have the threads for this anymore. Obviously I have the books, I still have the pattern, but I just don't have, I'd have to get, you know, all the threads, and I just don't think I'm interested in doing this anymore. But what I was thinking was maybe just finishing it and maybe frame it like this. I might try to maybe backstitch her face a little bit more, so it's more defined, but I might do that. I might just frame it like this and call it good, and maybe just leave the fabric if I ever feel inspired to finish it. But it's beautiful. I do love this. I just don't have a desire to stitch on it anymore, and that's okay. It's, you know, Teresa Wensler designs are very hard. They have lots of blended threads, and it's just very time consuming. And there's a lot of confetti, and that pattern in particular has a lot of confetti in it. So that is the oldest piece that I have. But I recently took it off my WIP list because I decided, nope, I think I'm just done with that. So moving on to the 2019 patterns that I was talking about, I have stitched Christmas stockings for almost everyone in my family. So I have one for me, and I stitched one for my mom and my dad, and I've stitched one for my husband, and I have one for my oldest daughter. So I am working on, so I have this book. It's the Donna Cooler's Ultimate Stitching or Ultimate Stocking Collection, and it's a book of obviously just Christmas stockings, and I am working on this one. It is called Winter Fun on Ice, and this is for my youngest daughter. And so I started this during the Stitch Mania, and I actually have, this is a focus piece right now for me. So here it is. I think last year I finished this part, and or maybe it was earlier this year, but and then I put it away for a while, and then recently I moved on and I've started stitching. I stitched this penguin recently in the trees, and I plan on keeping this out for a while. I'll talk more about plans later, but this is Winter Fun on Ice, and I will do the back stitching last. That's how I usually like to do that. So my youngest loves this, so she's excited about it. Okay, next for my WIP parade is when I was in my early 20s, my parents gifted me for Christmas. They got me all 4 of the lavender and lace Celtic ladies, and so amazing because they're so beautiful, and they included fabrics for each one, and some beads to go with that. And I mean, they're just stunning. And I had started Celtic Winter first, and I did that along for a while, but then I put it away because I messed it up, and I just got frustrated, so it you know, went into the UFO pile. But then back in 2019, I decided to that I wanted to start all of them. So I started with Celtic Spring, and I am stitching this in all the called for DMC, and this is her. Oops. Don't want to see the back or upside down, but there she is. This is a 28 count linen in cream, and she's just so pretty. So I think once I'm had my fill with the stocking, I'm gonna make her my focus piece because she has the most work done on her. My family's from Southern Oregon, so there was a local needlework shop in LNS called A Stitch in Time. It was in Medford, Oregon, and unfortunately, I don't think they're there anymore. I don't know when they closed. I know they had changed locations at one time, but that is where my parents had got all the patterns and the fabrics, and some of the beads. So I'm just so fortunate that was, you know, that they did that for me, and that now I can enjoy it. So next, we'll get to more Celtic ladies in a minute, but these were the order that I had started them in. The next one is, as you can see, I don't store my I don't have fancy bags to store a lot of my stitching in. Some of them are in some nicer bags, but a lot of them are in just Ziploc bags. This is called the Capitol, and it's a DMC kit of the Capitol building from Williamsburg, Virginia. My parents went on a trip there years ago and got me 2 kits that were of 2 buildings from Williamsburg, Virginia. And I actually went on a trip there when I was a teenager with my dad. So I was familiar with Williamsburg, and these are cute little buildings, but and I can't show you a picture unfortunately because it's just a pattern, but it's just a little 14 count Ada, and you know, came with all the threads, and it's cute. I just haven't had much of a desire to work on it, so I don't know when I will do that, but I'm gonna hang on to it, and I have the other one as well. So my idea was maybe to finish them and then do some kind of gift for my parents, maybe find a picture and to frame it with of the trip, of their trip there. But we'll see. And they're not very big, so I don't think it would take very long to finish them, but yeah, I'll have to, you know, have to feel inspired to work on it, so we'll see how that is. Next on my list is, this is kind of a UFO as well. This is a Dimensions Gold Collection kit called Woodland Enchantress, and it's so pretty. I really like it, but I don't know what happened, but I ironed it and it got all this like staining on it. That is how far I got on it. This is part of her dress, and so I'm not sure if I want to continue with it. I mean, I think because it's pretty much full coverage, I think a lot of the background is half stitches, but so maybe a lot of these little marks would be covered. I guess I could try washing it and see how that goes. But yeah, I hadn't felt desire to stitch on this recently, so she had been put away. But now that I see it, maybe I'll pull it out again sometime. We'll see. But that is Woodland Enchantress, and that I started during Stitch Mania. Oh, and I should show you, this is my, I'm pulling them all out. I call this the magical box of WIPs. This is a box my mom got me for Christmas. She made me a peacock quilt and put that in there, and I just think it's so fun. So yeah, the magical box of WIPs. And I don't have all my WIPs because I have way too many for that. I actually store most of them in a very large plastic container, but some of the ones that my current WIPs that I'm working on, I will store in there. Next is another Celtic lady. This is Celtic Summer, and this is stitched on a 28 count linen in the color Summer Khaki. I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep showing you upside down in my messy backs, but here she is. She also has a lot of work done in her too. Gosh, she's one of my favorites. I really love the colors in this one. It's just so pretty. And one thing I like to do is when I have linens or fabrics that have little tags, I'll keep the tag on there. So there's the little tag that came in like when it was purchased. So I keep it on there so I know what it is. So anyway, that is Celtic Summer. So she has quite a bit done on her. Oh, and I should show you. So I had made the decision, I don't always do this, but I decided to do her face in 1/1. I just wanted to try it out, and I have started doing that on all of them just because I wanted to be consistent. I don't do that on any other pieces unless it's called for, but that was kind of an experiment. I kind of like the way it looked, so I'm gonna just continue with that for the Celtic ladies. Okay, next on my list, this is another Celtic lady. This is Celtic Autumn. And this is the first one that I've ever done a color conversion for. And I apologize. I don't remember where. I have the website somewhere, so I can try to find that out, but I don't have the color, like what website. I saved the website somewhere, so I'll try to find that information. But I'm doing a conversion that has like the greens and the oranges, like the rust colors. So, and this one is stitched on 28 count linen and taupe. And yeah, so I will try to figure out that conversion, but she was also started during Stitch Mania 2019. Next from Stitch Mania is Frederick the Literate. I just think this is so cute. I love cats. I don't have cats anymore, but I grew up with cats, and this cat reminds me of the cat that I had when I was younger. So yeah, this is a kit. So it is stitched on the called for Ada, which is a 14 count black. And I have not worked on this very much. I just wasn't really inspired. But yeah, I have some of the books done. So yeah, so someday I would like to get back to that one. That's a fun one. All right, next is another favorite of mine. I am really into Mirabelias, like the lavender and lace, Mirabelia, just so beautiful. I just think they're just gorgeous. That's my kind of stitching. I like the pretty lady, fantasy, fairy type stitching. You'll see more of that later. But this is Mirabelia March Aquamarine Fairy. And this is my progress. This is for my oldest daughter, whose birthday is, of course, in March. And this is a 16 count Ada. And I had actually purchased, it was the bead kit. I got it off of Etsy, and it came with all the beads. I got the pattern I think I got the pattern, the fabric, and all the beads and the Krynic. And then I just kitted up the rest myself with the DMC. And for some reason I decided to start at the bottom. I don't really remember why I did that. I think I just wanted to try something different. But I'm kind of glad I did, because that skirt is immense. There's so much skirt. But it's beautiful, and I did do some of the beading along the way, but I think I might actually finish all the stitching before I continue with the beading. But it is just so pretty. Some of my favorite colors. My daughter really loves it too, so this will probably be pulled out again soon. So next is, so this one, I'm sorry, this is, I printed this on my printer because it's I got a PDF off of Etsy. This is Queen Victoria. The designer's name is Teresa Gill, and she still has a shop on Etsy. She has lots of really beautiful patterns. And was I guess to commemorate the 200th anniversary of her birth, which was 2019, which is why I started it for Mania in 2019. And this is how much I have done. So I got, I think the page, I'm a middle starter stitcher. I like to start in the middle typically. Besides, sometimes I do randomly start in different places, like you saw in my last Mirabelia. But so I think this is where the page cuts off, and then yeah. So she's almost, she is done, but I hadn't finished her headpiece. I don't pull this one out a lot either, but she's very pretty, and I don't know if I'm gonna stitch all the wording on it, but we'll see how I feel about that later. And this, I believe, is a 16 count Ada. I was always an Ada stitcher before 14 count, but when I restarted stitching, you know, passionately in 2019, I started, you know, it's like, well, maybe I'll try different counts. So I started, you know, I have a lot of 16 counts, which I do still like. I like both. That's why when I first got the Celtic ladies and I saw that they came with the linens, I was really intimidated to start them because I wasn't used to stitching on linen, but now I really enjoy it. So, okay. Next this is Celtic Christmas. This is a nice one too. And she is stitched on a 28 count. New khaki is the color. So not a lot done on her either. But at least she has started. So I think that's all the Celtic ladies. I think, yeah, that's all 5 of them. The spring, summer, fall, oh, no, winter, which won't show up until another video. That'll be for the future. Okay, next is Sleepy Hollow, and I apologize, I don't have a picture of the design, but this is by the Tiny Modernist. And this was not a Mania start. I started this in July. This was one of the Tiny Modernist mystery stitch alongs. And I started it, never finished it, but I do work on it now and then. But this is where I'm at with this. There are 4 sections, so there's supposed to be a 4th section down here, and I'm on the 3rd one, as you can see. And I'm stitching this on 18 count Picture This Plus feldspar. And I got this fabric from Acorn and Threads, which is actually my local needle workshop. I have not, that's the only thing I've ever bought from them because I never really get an opportunity to go. But I would like to go again. And but I do, there's another fairly local needlework online store that I purchased from as well, because I do like to buy local, but sometimes it's hard for me to actually get out and about to shop at a cross stitch store. But anyway, I do think this is so cute, and I believe there was an option to turn this into, like, you can make drums, but I decided just to do it as one full piece. So that's some Halloween stitching that's really fun. So that was a July start for the mystery stitch along. Next this is another Dimensions kit. This is Fall Fairy, the gold collection. This is another one that I kind of have not worked on in a while and was debating about whether to continue with it. But this is the Fall Fairy. She's very pretty though. And it's, you know, as a kit, so it was, I wrote it down, 16 count. They call this gray, but it has kind of a blue tint to it. But she's very pretty. So maybe someday I'll get back to this one. And I had started that in September of 2019. So that was the last one for that year. So those are all my 2019 WIPs. So that's quite a few, but it's not all of them. But yeah. So next I want to share my current WIPs and kind of how I do my rotation. I was doing WIP Go, which is by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. She has a Facebook group and Instagram, and it's basically a bingo board where you put WIPs in there, and then 2 numbers are called a month, and that's what you could work on. But I've discovered, I've tried it 2 years in a row now, and on January, February, I do really good, and then by the time I get to March, I'm just like, I kind of don't want to work on that. So I've kind of fallen away from that, although I love the idea and the concept, and I might, you know, do it over and over again, you know, continue to try it. But right now I'm kind of stitching by themes and days of the week, following some hashtags. So so Mondays are Mirabelia Mondays. There is a hashtag for that, and I started that, following along with that. And this is another Mirabelia. This is called Guardian Angel. I don't remember, because this was a long time ago. I don't remember who was stitching this on Instagram, but I saw it and I had to have it because I love angels as well as like fairies and pretty ladies, and these 2 little girls just remind me of my daughters. They just, you know, the older daughter with the little girl. My girls are 5 years apart, so this just reminds me of them. And so I've been wanting to work on that, and so lately on Mondays I've been working on Guardian Angel, and this is where I'm at. And I've been focusing on working on the girl. This is a 16 count, I think it's a 16 count Ada. I dyed this myself. It's the first time and only time no, not the only time, the first time I ever dyed anything, and I actually really love it. I really wanted a bright background because there's so much white and cream in the angel and even in the girls' dresses, so I really just wanted a vibrant background, and it just makes me so happy. I really like it. So so yeah, that is on Mondays. Mirabelia's Mondays is what I have been doing lately, and that is what I've been working on. I might switch it up to the March Aquamarine Fairy soon though, because that is my oldest Mirabelia, and I would love to have that done, but I don't know, because I really love this one too. So comment down below maybe and let me know which one you think I should work on. Should I work on Guardian Angel, or should I work on March Aquamarine Fairy on Mondays? Let me know. Okay, and then on, oh, see how fancy my bags are? This is just like a Dollar Tree plastic bag. Actually, I will show you my March Aquamarine Fairy is in, so I'm going to take the chart out so you can't see it, but it's in this this, it's just a plastic bag, and I got them at the Dollar Tree. So I have a couple of those for some of my projects. Not all my projects are like that, but some of them. Okay, next is, since 2020, I have enjoyed working on temperature pieces. In particular, I really like the Stitchin Mommy. I really enjoy her Flosstubes, by the way. And I have stitched 2 of her other, so 2020 and 2021, I've stitched some of her pieces. Stay tuned for future videos. They might show up, make an appearance. But right this year, I'm working on temperature butterflies. And I work on this on Temperature Tuesdays. This is where I'm at. So I got sorry, I'm gonna leave it in my hoop, but I have the whole top row done, the, you know, January through April, and then this is May, and then I try to stay ahead and outline the butterflies a month ahead. So on Tuesdays I catch up like the last 3 days and fill in, and then on the weekends I fill in some more, and then I also work on the next butterfly. So this is actually the first one I've really been able to keep up on. The first 2 that I did, I fell so far behind, but this one I've actually been able to say I love butterflies. I don't know if you can tell, but like my watch band is butterflies, and I have pictures of butterflies, and I really like that. So anyway, that's temperature butterflies. I stitch on Tuesdays and on the weekends, and it's really fun. I really enjoy that. And so for the temperatures, being in Oregon, a lot of my butterflies are in the green range. We tend, for a long time, we were mostly in the 40s and 50s, and then this like March, April, maybe not March, maybe April was like started to, okay, now we're in the 60s. And then finally in May, we were able to get up in this, we've gotten up in the 70s, but that it still has rained a lot, which means it gets very muggy sometimes. So that's kind of what we've been experiencing here. Okay, so that's Tuesday. So Wednesday, I'm following KitschyWips and Fiberartsamy. They have a hashtag, Shadowlane Wednesdays. KitschyWips just started a Flosstube, and I also really enjoy Fiberartsamy. They're both on Instagram, so you should follow them if you're interested in like Mirabelias and Shadowlanes. So Shadowlane Wednesday, this is the Royal Tudor Mandala. And I just think this is, I mean, it was so hard to choose a pattern. It's the most expensive thing I've ever purchased for myself, ever. Yeah, ever. But it was worth it, and I won't be buying another one anytime soon because, yeah. But I just was always, I got to go on a trip to England, oh gosh, back in 2005, I think, 2006 maybe, and I went with my dad, and I've always been fascinated by history and just the Tudor times and castles, and I just really, Hampton Court was one of the castles we visited, and just, I don't know, just amazing, the gardens, and just, oh, I loved it so much. So that's why I was really drawn to it. But I keep it in this bag that I got on Amazon. And I love this because it has like all these like pouches. They're all zippered pouches, and some of them have like double pouches, but I divided it all up by thread brand because there's so many different kinds of threads, and it just helps me really stay organized with this. But let me get it out. Here it is. Okay. So this is the Royal Tudor Mandala, the Shadowlane, and I got the kit from European Cross Stitch Company, and I was trying to think of what the fabric was. I think it's a 32 count linen. I just can't remember exactly, but it's just a simple white linen, because there's all this beautiful threads and colors, and I don't have a lot done on this, and I haven't even I'm kind of starting with the cross stitches first, just in the center piece, and then I think once I fill the border, once I do the border around, I think I might go back in and start doing the specialty stitches. I've been really intimidated by that. Not that I haven't done specialty stitches, but it's definitely can be challenging, so I just want to be ready for that. So Wednesdays, I have joined that hashtag, and I've been working on my Shadowlane. Okay, so Thursdays is just fair game. I just work whatever I feel like. I'm usually on the stocking. The Christmas stocking that I showed earlier, the Winter Fun on Ice, I try to stitch on that every day, like about a half hour if I can. If nothing, just a few stitches if it's a really busy day. You know, I'm a mom of 2 kids. I work full time. I have a husband. Life is busy, and so sometimes stitching can be hard to find time to stitch, but I do, and I get a lot in. It doesn't always feel like enough time, but this is another bag. It's the same style of bag, just in a different pattern, and this is a Heaven and Earth Designs. Sorry for all the noise. It's called, I'm working on Spirit of Flight. This is artwork by Josephine Wall. I just love this because, well, it has butterflies, of course, but I love the colors. I love the birds. I love how this looks like it's like the ocean. I just love the movement. I love how it looks like she's leaving the darkness to go into the light. I just think this is just beautiful. And I actually had, I might still have it, a journal of this artwork. And so I had purchased, there was a buy one get one half off deal, and I bought this in another pattern, and this is the one I decided to stitch first. And I bought the thread pack, the kit, and I love it because they came on these cards. I cut the cards in half so they'd fit into these pouches, and it works out perfect. And I don't have very much done on this because I restarted it. Not very much, just a little teeny tiny section. Actually, this was the old start, but I was stitching it 2/1, and I did not like it. It was so tight, I felt like I could barely get the needle through the fabric. This is a 25 count. And I did measure, but I flipped the fabric around and I just moved my start. I did measure and make sure it'll still fit. And if I have to rip out some stitches down there, I will, but I restarted it as 1/1 because I was not enjoying it at all. And I wasn't working on this, and I love the design, but the stitching wasn't fun. So I experimented and I decided that the 1/1 on the 25 count was the way to go. So I am stitching this on Fridays. I'm calling it Full Coverage Fridays. Maybe I'll think of a hashtag of if you want to join along, or just do the hashtag Full Coverage Friday. But yeah, just so that I'm at least touching it once a week, I wanted to designate a day for that. So the last piece I have to show you is another Teresa Wentzler. I decided to, because I was retiring Rapunzel, I decided, because there's so many beautiful designs in this book. I mean, it's just incredible. But I was always drawn to these pieces. This is called Night. And just look at that. Look at those. I don't remember what those are called, but oh, it's just so beautiful. Oh, I love it. This is my start. I started this not too long ago, and so there's not a lot done on it, but I bought this fabric for something else, and I decided not to go that direction. And I was trying to think of what I could use the fabric for, and I thought, well, what about a Teresa Wentzler? And so I looked at the patterns and decided that I just think the colors would be so beautiful on this fabric. And it's like just ever so slightly modeled. So it's fun. So KitschyWips has, she does a Wentzler weekend. And so I'm just gonna join along with that and try to work on that on the weekends. And that is all my WIPs for today. So something I thought I would do in my videos is show a previous finish in every video. So I'm gonna start with one of my favorites and one of my oldest ones, which is that one right there. Let me take it off. This is the Antique Shoe Collection. It was a, I cannot never say this correctly, Bucilla kit. And it's just amazing. It's the first big finish I ever had. And my parents had this framed for me. And I just love it so much. I keep it right on my wall. And this is my bedroom. This is where I stitch too, and I just think it's so amazing. It's just, I love it. So that, again, I think I was in college. It was right around the time that I started the Rapunzel, maybe right before the Rapunzel piece, so 2000, 2001-ish. And probably 2001, I think. And I just think it's so fun. It's such a fun it's such a fun pattern. And I think Stitchin Mommy has this as a WIP. So yeah, that was one of my biggest finish, the first big finish I ever had. So it was kind of exciting. And yeah, so in these videos, you probably won't see a lot of haul. maybe sometimes, but I usually try to stick to a budget. So, and I have so many WIPs that I'm trying to focus on what I have, but I do try to fit in a lot of stitching. So, but something else I thought I would do is every week share maybe some of my stitching tools or stitching gadgets that I have. So the first for this week, I thought I would show these. I actually recently found these again. They were I couldn't find them for a long time, but my mom made these, and this one is a little a needle book, and then just a little scissor pouch, so it has my scissors in there. So if I don't have a needle minder or I need a place to put them, I just think they're so cute. So these are some of my favorite stitchy tools items that I have. So yeah, I just wanted to, if you're still here, thank you for watching. If you like this video, you know, hit the like button. You could subscribe. I wanted to start a Flosstube so I can get even more involved in the stitching community. I think it's so amazing. I don't have any local stitchers that I stitch with, so social media is the way I connect with other stitchers. So I would love to get to know you, and I don't know how often I will post videos, but either once a week or once every other week is probably, we'll see how it goes. But I hope you are having a wonderful day, and may all your stitchy dreams come true. Bye.